Hey guys, welcome back to Freestyle Unlimited. If you guys saw the last video, you saw we got the bottom end of the 440SX motor put back together. Today's video, now that I've got gaskets, we are gonna finish the assembly of the 440 top end. So we're gonna get right into it. Alrighty, so I just gave the bench a quick clean. We've got all of our engine components up here. We've got our gasket kit. We've got some of our tools. We've got all of the parts we'll need to clean. As I had mentioned previously in one of the other videos, we will have to figure out how to get all the corrosion out of here. I'm going to try using some hot water, see if that'll break some of it down and get some of it out. Some of it we'll just have to probably scrape out and see how much we can get out. But we are going to do that, and then we are going to get the rest of this all put back together. And the goal is to get the entire motor put back together as quickly as possible and get it back in the ski. But another upcoming video, we will be cleaning this thing out, getting this hole prepped and ready to receive a clean motor. The last thing I need before it can go in there, and we'll do another video on the install, is I need to find some new motor mounts. So I've got a couple leads on that and possibly another couple projects that will be really cool. So definitely stay tuned to check that out. But let's get right into this engine build. We are gonna start off by getting because in the last video I didn't have my torque wrenches out here, we are gonna get our flywheel torqued. So I'm gonna do that right here. I'm gonna pull the torque out of my manual, tightening torques for our JS440 or the 440SX because they are pretty much the same motor. We are going to go with flywheel cover bolts, flywheel nut, 115 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna use our table here. 115 foot-pounds. I'm using this, and I believe our 27. Yep. So we'll set our wrench to 115 right there. And we'll get this thing locked down. Alrighty, we are locked down at 115 foot-pounds. Next step, I'm going to hammer these lock tabs down. Those are locked down, ready to go. So, as we did in our last video, we cleaned this surface. I've got my carbide scraper again. We're gonna come back, we're gonna re-clean that surface, and we are going to get our pistons on. Actually, this is all clean. I just need to wipe this one down. Yeah, this stuff's looking really clean. Maybe a little bit here and there. Alright, I think we're going to call that pretty good on this actually. Alright, so let's go ahead, get our pistons back on here. Okay. Throw that over to the side. We're going to get our cylinder here. We're going to come through with our scraper. Get all this junk off from the old gasket. On that, I'm going to give the bore a quick wipe down with some oil. So our cylinder's ready to go. Now let's take care of our head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through here and I'm going to physically kind of scrape off as much of the loose corrosion as I can, and then we'll wash it with some hot water. We'll hit it with the scraper, we'll wash it one more time, and we'll throw on the heater and we'll get some heat going on it to dry it off. Well, I'm going to dump this out. And I've got some hot water over here in a jug. I'm going to do it out the door. And I'm just going to pour it over here and rinse all of this, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, so I did wash it out with some hot water. We did actually get most of the stuff out of the inside of the head, but we need to get our mating surface cleaned up. So we're going to come back with our scraper. So I'm going to set this down here and get some hot air on it, getting some heat into it to get it dried off with our little diesel heater. And we're going to go ahead and get our base gasket seated and ready, and then we'll get our cylinder on here. So let's get right to it. Crack this baby open. Dump all our gaskets all over the place. Alrighty, and our base gaskets, looks like they gave us some individual ones, which is fine, not what I usually go with, but we should work out just fine. Drop them on here, maybe. Get it through. Oh, actually, I'm gonna grease these. Grease these real quick. I wonder if they're the exact same. Yeah, they look the same. Feel the same. Smell the same. Sweet. Alright, so we'll grease these up really quick using our rain grease here. Just a little bit goes a long way. Do that, or I think I've got scissors out here. I'm just gonna come in here and I'm gonna trim our gaskets. So here, let me grab you guys, I'll show you what's going on. So I don't usually deal with this on kits, but as you can see here, these are two individual gaskets here and they're overlapping right in the middle. So I'm just gonna trim a little bit off of each side so that it'll sit flat. Screw this, but that's okay. So I'm gonna come in here, give our gasket a little trim, make sure we don't drop that piece into the cylinder. So that one will sit flat, and I'm just for good measure going to come in and trim this side as well. Alright. Get our little gasket piece out of there. Alrighty, so now If we look right down in here, we've got a little bit of a gap between those two. So that'll seal up nice and clean. On here, let's get our cylinder on. We've already got everything lubed up. Our exhaust ports are facing this way, so we're gonna make sure our exhaust is facing this way. We'll give this a quick wipe down with some brake clean, get it cleaned up. Get our surface is clean here. Just like that. And get this on here. Get any dust out of it. And we're just going to set it on our pins. We'll start coming down. Okay. Okay. And we're going to come right down to this other one. Exact same thing. And then press our piston ring. And get it centered up there. So we should, bam, just like that. So it'll flow across the cylinder, and this will actually ensure that we get more upward flow coming out of this side. So we will have a little bit of flow here, a little bit on the ends, but the majority of it will flow across the cylinder. So if you look at this gasket, there are many holes that are not our cylinder holes. So our cylinder holes are going to be here, 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 and here. So all of our smaller holes here, and these two larger holes are going to be for our coolant. And actually, I want to say it should go like this. And then this will go, yeah, actually, sorry, that is correct. So we've got the majority of the holes on the intake side because you will be getting water feed through your exhaust manifold. You want to make sure that it flows across the head and up. And since it will be coming in from the back of the exhaust manifold, you want to have the larger holes over here, which will feed more water, and it'll push the water through the entire head to get it the most efficient cooling possible. If you mount it like this, your cooling will essentially come into the cylinder in this water channel here, and then it'll go straight up into the head, and you'll end up with hot spots on the intake side, which we don't want. So we're going to have both of our holes that are larger going to be forward on the motor and on the intake side. So that way when we put our head on here, which we're going to do, beautiful. Now we've got our water flow going into the motor, forward and up. We've also got the rest of the cooling to give a little bit of water around the rest of the head. But that is a very important distinguished detail that you want to remember when you are doing this. So now that we've got that head on, we're going to go in and we are just going to add all of our washers and our nuts. I'm going to wash these really quick with some brake clean. Foot-pounds here. Alrighty, so our head is all torqued. And we can move on to our exhaust manifold. grease on our O-ring. Okay. And now that it's got a little bit of grease on it, it should sit in here pretty good. Just like that. Beautiful. We'll get this thing mounted up here. Flip it around. Pin lined up. Squeeze it on there. And if you want, you can wipe off the excess grease. But let's go ahead and get our case for our flywheel cover on here. That's going to be our starter bolt. Our starter bolts are going to be the two longer ones. So we can start with those if we want. I did end up just kind of deciding that we are going to roll with the original starter since I know it's healthy. It's not the prettiest, but I know it works well. So we're just going to keep that one on here. So go ahead and throw that in here. Get our bolts started on those. Just like that. So we are all torqued up on that. We're going to come back and start. Let's start with our intake manifold. And we're going to pop off our carb. In there for now. That will come later. Ready to go on. So we're going to go ahead and flip around here. Put down our surface over here. Grab our intake manifold gaskets. Okay, and we're going to toss that one on there. Stick it. And this one will go on here. Just stick it. Little wick down. In here. Put it there. What are we doing here now? We're going to come right back in on our exhaust manifold here now. Exhaust seal right here. And let's get our manifold back on here. So we'll come up here, grab some grease. Those are all tight. We're going to come back in. I don't think this is where it's supposed to be. It's definitely not. Alright, so we are going to we'll put our head gasket back on the same way. There. We'll flip our head around. Run it all back. Now we're just gonna continue back on where we left off. I'm gonna throw our head pipe on. There we go. No problem. Come right back in with our nuts and our washers. Just like this. Get the inside one on. The outside one. Maybe 13s. Alright. These ones I'm just going to do. Right, so that is it for the 440SX motor assembly. We got everything back together. The only thing left, because I have a carb kit for it now, we are going to tear this thing down, get it rebuilt, and this will be the end of the build series. And then we will also be doing the cleanup on the engine bay itself and get this thing ready to go back together. This thing is going to be absolutely mint. You guys have to subscribe. Keep up with this build if you love jet skis. And this thing is going to be an absolute beauty when it's done. So, until the next video, thanks for watching and we'll see you on the next one.